several tigers. We have two species. We have Malayan tigers and Sumatran tigers. A lot of our job is observation. Since I see them every day, I can tell when something's off, since it is like your kids. You know when something's off, they're not feeling well, something's bothering them. So this is a typical training session where I just ask him to do different behaviors, and they all have a purpose. When I ask him to stand up, I can see the full length of his body. So someone can look at his underside, his belly, see if he's standing. I am Tiger Mom. And Seattle is very much a tiger. He's very serious, and he will let you know when you have invaded his space and he's not feeling it that day.
SSP stands for Species Survival Plan. And basically these are groups of veterinarians, keepers, geneticists, biologists that are responsible for maintaining the best genetic diversity within cats in human care. So he's going there with a recommendation to reproduce with one of their cats.
Okay, how do we get a tiger to Honolulu?
So prior to moving, we do what's called a pre-shipment exam, and that's to make sure the cat is healthy, free of any sort of infectious disease that would be a concern, otherwise safe and can easily handle the transport and the situation to get there. We actually had some veterinarians that are doing postdoctoral training in zoological medicine from LSU's vet school come over to help. We start by inducing anesthesia down at his normal night house. From there, we'll use a cargo net and a bunch of keepers and people to load him into a secure crate in the back of a vehicle to transport him up to the veterinary hospital. We roll him through our treatment room. He gets stopped at the scale to get a weight on him because it's not that easy to weigh a tiger normally. Next thing we did for him is we went and rolled him into our radiology suite where we took x-rays of both his chest and his abdomen, make sure everything looks good radiographically and there's no concerns there. After that, we all get back involved in lifting a 250-pound cat again, put him back on a stretcher. We rolled him back into our big treatment room so we had a little more room to work. At that time, we did notice he had some pretty significant dental tartar, which is very common in these cats. So we went ahead and intubated him, which gives us access to his airway, and put him on an anesthesia machine. I started doing a full dental evaluation and cleaning on him, while the other veterinarians in the room went ahead and did a full physical exam from nose all the way back to tail, got blood on him, vaccinated him, gave him sub-Q fluids, which are fluids under his skin, just to help him with his recovery.
So while the veterinary team did their necessary workups, the keeper team, myself and another keeper, actually got some paw prints of him as a little momentum to remember the trip and him, and which is a nice little souvenir to keep from him.
After that, we were pretty much ready to start moving him back towards where he wakes up. So obviously we have to not only induce his anesthesia at his house, but we also have to wake him up back there as well to make sure that it's safe for everyone. So we'll load him back into that same crate. We'll get the whole team to drive him back down to his normal night house. We'll pull him out of the crate. We'll move him into his normal den. We'll reverse his anesthetic drugs at that point, and then we'll go ahead and let him wake up on his own from there. It went very smoothly, like we would expect a normal big cat immobilization to go. Yeah, so overall for a 15-year-old cat, he's doing pretty well.
We came in about 3:45 in the morning. Previously, the day before, did a run through with the loading of Seattle, so we kind of already had a plan and we knew what we were going to do.
I felt a huge relief once he was actually in the crate, because to me that meant he was comfortable and he trusted me, and that's how I knew the trip was going to go well.
Once everyone was there, we just went ahead and ran through our plan and loaded him within a few minutes. I would say it was very, very quick and successful load. We then loaded up in the van and headed to New Orleans.
He was a little upset when we first loaded him in because it's a new process, of course. Settled in really well though once we started driving. To me, it was business as usual. I just had to remember all the things that I needed to do and make sure he was safe and comfortable during the whole process.
Seeing the plane, you realize just how large a cargo plane is.
We were actually there at sunrise, so the sun was coming up over the plane. It was beautiful. You saw the side of the plane open, saw them loading all the stuff. And then to see like the empty belly of the plane, we were gonna sit in the cockpit. It was very surreal.
We took care of him. We left him in the van with air conditioning, waited till the opportune moment to load him on the aircraft. We waited till about the last 10 minutes of the load to get him on the pallet and tie him down. And once he was topside, the crew, the captain and first officer turned on the air conditioner for him so that he's comfortable.
First flight was to Memphis, and we were able to sit in the cockpit with the pilots. It was a quick flight. It was only about 45 minutes, but it was really, really awesome to see the takeoff and the landing from the cockpit.
Me and Casey knew it was a job, so once the pilot said so, we actually went, and the first thing we did was check on him because it was his first time on a plane. Memphis was interesting because We didn't know what to expect, so they loaded us up on this little tram, and then we followed behind him to this live animal holding area. We were there for about 6 hours. We kind of ate a little snack, checked on him. He took a great nap. I gave him some water.
They finally came and got us and loaded us on the plane to Honolulu. And we actually had our own little seating area. There was a mat that you could sleep on the floor. It was a really nice setup for that flight.
Then after that, one of the first things we did is, again, we checked on Seattle. One of the pilots wanted to come back and see him. And we actually arrived at sunset. So we were facing the sun up until the whole point, and then we make a turn, and the runway's right on the water. It was gorgeous.
The team from Honolulu Zoo was there to greet us. It took them a few minutes to get him off. And of course, you know, anytime someone walks onto the plane and they realize, oh, there's a tiger on this plane, there's a little bit of excitement and a little bit of shock.
Saw them right away. There were like 4 cars full of zoo people. And then we had all the USDA inspectors. And then by the time we were headed to the zoo, it was already dark.
We got his crate off of the truck, got him moved into his holding area, and Juliana was able to open the crate for him to shift into his new exhibit. And when you work with these animals every single day, you do form a bond with them.
It really didn't settle in that this was goodbye until he was walking around in his new den. I told him goodbye and I waved to him.
So it went really, really well. I'm proud of the whole team, obviously.
The Honolulu Zoo was great. They were really excited to have him. He's gonna have a great life there, and that does make you feel better.
Obviously, he's an ambassador for his species for animals all over the world. So from that standpoint, we'll miss having him as an ambassador here. But hopefully we'll have somebody in here as a replacement here shortly.